I'm happy to be here at the U.S. State Department Speaker Series. Right, so I'm a cultural anthropologist. I presently teach at New York University. And I wrote a book about women on Wall Street, the first generation of women on Wall Street, particularly how they networked in a very male-dominated environment. And based on that research, I have now done workshops, which we did today, for women here, high-level executives, lawyers, people working in banks and so forth, and organizations, about how women might think about navigating and creating a network in male-dominated environments, male-dominated industries. Well, I think that one of the things we found out today is it's important to sort of push yourself a little bit, to be very aware of your environment and to think of yourself, to grow that confidence, to have a mentor that can help you build that confidence, and to think of yourself as a change agent or as somebody who does have the power to change. Even some of the shyest, there are some of the shyest women on Wall Street. I will tell you a story. One woman who told me she's extremely shy, right? You know, if you go to a cocktail party, forget it. But she knows, and she pushes herself, and has for many decades. When she goes to a function, an industry function, she just pushes herself and says it's part of the job, right? And takes on, if you want, a persona or a way of presenting herself that pushes herself. And the more that you do that over time, it's a skill set, right? It's a muscle. You will build that muscle of being less shy and of being a little bit more overt or confident, and building your own network. Well, that's an interesting question. Sometimes I think it's industry specific, and sometimes I think it's individually specific and where you are in your career. The one thing I found in my book about Wall Street women was that it is important, and it certainly was important, for the first generation of women to have their own support network, the Financial Women's Association, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And my personal and professional opinion is that women need to be in both, all kinds of networks, but to at least belong to one women's network. It could be for your industry, it could be for personal reasons, it could be for professional support, a space where you can learn kind of, you know, the hard skills, the soft skills. It doesn't have to be the only network. But my opinion is that it's important for women to participate in at least one women's network, even if it's once in a blue moon. Right, that's a great question. Well, recruiting a mentor, it depends on where you are, right? I mean, on the one hand, as we discussed today, increasingly, fortunately, companies and organizations have formal mentor programs. So you can participate in that. You can also look for example, the Financial Women's Association has a formal mentor kind of program. And the other thing is that over time, you can, and people are busy, so you have to actually be kind of sensitive. Maybe it's somebody who you work on a project with that you get to know over time. Those things develop over time. And it may not, sometimes it can be an overt kind of questioning, like, can you be my mentor? And sometimes it's a kind of implicit kind of questioning where it develops over time, right? You know, where you start to seek advice, right, from that person. You need to think about, is that person trustworthy? What can that person give in terms of added value? Can they help, you know, push my career in a particular way? Think about where that person fits in the larger kind of organization. But it's important because, especially as a young person, you know, you're just at the beginning of your career. You're just at the beginning of building a hierarchy or a linear or whatever, or a kind of a career. And it's helpful to have at least one mentor in place. It doesn't necessarily have to be female. It can be multiple.
Thank you.
You're welcome.